Emotion. It's often described as the essence of existence, the force that guides our choices and shapes our reality. The ability to master one's emotions is seen as the key to mastering one's actions, ultimately granting control over the course of one's life. Today, we delve into the stories of two distinct individuals, each with their own worldview, aspirations, and, most importantly, unique paths. Meet Alexander. In his worldview, people can be categorized into two groups, the conquerors and the conquered. To achieve greatness, one must adopt the conqueror's mindset in a dog-eat-dog world. Success in his eyes depends on identifying allies in conquest and those to be overcome. Alexander's childhood was marked by limited resources, compelling him to toil relentlessly for every accomplishment. He firmly believed that an individual's life unfolds as a direct consequence of their actions, necessitating complete responsibility for one's fate. He set extraordinarily high standards for himself, both physically and intellectually. His most formidable adversary was himself, and he strove to conquer his own limitations each day. One fateful day, he encountered a homeless man requesting spare change. To Alexander, this man symbolized defeat. He questioned how someone could allow themselves to be so thoroughly vanquished. How many poor choices must have led him to this desperate state? Why wasn't he taking the initiative to better his circumstances? Alexander saw the man's plea as an attempt to leech off the hard-earned resources of those who had made prudent choices. He believed that those who had acted wisely should not be penalized for the errors of others. Alexander's anger swelled, and he vowed not to offer a single coin. He believed that aiding the man financially would only perpetuate his destructive behavior and negative attitude toward life. In Alexander's view, adversity was the path to enlightenment, and the man had to learn through suffering or face the consequences. Now, let's meet Joseph. In Joseph's perspective, the world can be divided into two categories: those who can offer assistance and those who require help. He was raised by a father who instilled in him the noblest of values, to serve those in need and uplift them. Joseph firmly believed that the greatest virtue lay in aiding those who had nothing, especially during life's hardships. Just like Alexander, Joseph was an avid reader during his childhood. He developed a deep admiration for various spiritual leaders who embraced universal love and dedicated their lives to serving others. Growing up in a comfortable and privileged environment, he always felt a sense of gratitude for the less fortunate. He considered himself fortunate to have everything he did. Then, one day, he had a fateful encounter with a homeless man who asked him for some spare change. In that moment, Joseph recognized the man as someone society had completely neglected, a person abandoned by the world. It stirred deep emotions within him, almost bringing tears to his eyes. He pondered the state of society and how it had failed this individual so profoundly. Joseph's thoughts raced, reflecting on the harsh realities of life, the capricious nature of luck, and how any of us could find ourselves in a similar position. Without hesitation, he emptied his pockets, giving all the money he had to the homeless man. This is where both stories converge. Two men with distinct worldviews shaped by their unique life experiences. They both looked at the same homeless man, but saw him in entirely different lights. Where one saw weakness, the other saw abandonment. These differing perceptions led to contrasting emotions, all driven by what they believed they were witnessing. In reality, both men knew little about the homeless man and the circumstances that led him to his current state. Such situations are often the case in real life. From their early years, both men were immersed in the intangible framework known as culture or environment. The knowledge they absorbed from this framework shaped their outlook on the world. Alex was raised in a culture of personal responsibility, emphasizing strength and weakness. This perspective defined how he perceived people. It was all he knew. On the other hand, Joseph grew up in an environment of collective responsibility, distinguishing between the needy and the fortunate. This lens was his reality. Emotions served as tools for both men. In Alex's world, anger was a tool for building strength, an embodiment of his highest ideal. In Joseph's world, compassion was a tool that allowed him to become a giver, representing his highest ideal. One might contemplate what would happen if the invisible structure surrounding these men were to change. If they were to swap the books they read or the families they were born into, would their perception of the world shift accordingly? Would their emotions evolve with this new perspective? The master of emotions, then, is someone who can reshape the invisible framework surrounding them. This transformation enables them to absorb a diverse range of concepts, allowing them to interpret the same situation from various angles. They wouldn't be confined to being either Alexander or Joseph. Instead, they would be both, adapting to circumstances as needed. Emotional mastery involves perceiving multiple layers of meaning in the negative space of life, allowing you to understand and respond to the world in nuanced ways. It's all about recognizing the multitude of potential realities that could exist. It's the art of observing a homeless man and realizing that his situation may stem from his personal choices, or could be a result of a broader societal failing. What I'm emphasizing here is not that these individuals can instantly change their thoughts and emotions in the moment. However, they have the power to adopt a different worldview, one that alters their perception of the world moving forward. They can discover fresh ways to view or engage with familiar things, and all it requires is listening to the world in its diverse forms. Imagine if they had taken the time to listen to each other's perspectives or inquire about the homeless man's viewpoint. They might have gained an entirely new perspective on the situation. So, how does one attain mastery over their emotions? It begins with listening, but even more importantly, it involves listening to viewpoints they haven't encountered before or those that challenge their own beliefs. To feel differently, they must change how they see the world. To change their perception, they must acquire knowledge they currently lack. To gain new knowledge, they must venture into uncharted territories. As Joseph Campbell aptly put it, the very cave you are afraid to enter turns out to be the source of what you are looking for.
Hey, William here. Before you go, make sure to check out this video for more awesome content to dive into. This video will not disappoint. Click right here to check it out and keep the entertainment going. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on future videos from us. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.